The theater has been through many altercations and amendments through its history, but you already knew that. And if you've been reading the same textbook as I have, then you know that it starts all the way back in ancient Greece. And if you didn't know that, then one of us has the wrong book and is in serious danger of failing this course. That said, the ancient Greek civilization, simply put, started theatrical performances. However, the intent of the theater then is different than how we use it now. I think that most of you would agree that the purpose of drama today is a good combination of entertainment and teaching. Now, there's a really good example of both of these purposes mixed together in one show that came out a little while ago in this tiny little New York-based show. It was called Hamilton. I don't think any of you would have heard of it. It didn't do very well. So the Greeks really liked their drama. There was even this big old festival where playwrights would come and compete each other in hand-to-hand combat. Wait, that can't be right. Playwrights would compete each other to see whose play was the best. According to HistoryWorld.net, all the participating playwrights had to submit 3 tragedies in one satyr play. A satyr play is kind of like a 6th century version of South Park. All the plays were performed and judged, and it was just a great old time. It's kind of like your high school one-act competition, but you get to eat meat while you're sitting, and the judges are all local businessmen who don't know that much about acting or really care. The festival was called City Dionysia, and this was because it was to honor the Greek god Dionysus. Dionysus was the god of fertility, wine, and, oh yeah, theater. So it was all orchestrated with religious intent. A little later, the Romans created a festival called Ludi Romani, which celebrated the god Jupiter. He was basically the Roman version of Dionysus. They just like to copy a lot of things they did. Our good friends Oscar Brockett and Franklin Hildy tell us that Ludi Romani took place every September, and that in addition to tragedies, the festival included comedy, juggling, dancing, prize fighting, and then by 354, events such as chariot racing and gladiator fighting even took place in the festival. Why don't we have festivals like that anymore? Oh yeah, because that's murder. The point is, both of these festivals centered around religion, and as time has continued, that theme has become less and less prevalent in modern dramatic festivals or just drama in general. So, where and why did this begin? During the early Middle Ages, the Christian church in Western Europe was beginning to thrive, and with it came its own form of performance. So, you might be asking yourself, why was the church suddenly so popular? Well, that's because the church was involuntary. All throughout Europe, forced conversion to the Christian church was taking place. The most popular of these movements took place in Spain. You've probably even heard of it. It was a very unexpected event.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Now, just because you say you're religious doesn't mean that you are. The pagans still acted like pagans, but now they had a name of religious Christians. The church recognized that this wasn't really working out that well, so they merged their festivals with the pre-existing pagan festivals. So that's why our Easter is in the spring, and why Christmas is on December 25th. Even though there was some serious scientific speculation that Jesus Christ was born in September, according to JW.com, these hybrid festivals were actually pretty successful, and they're probably the reason you associate one of these things with every medieval event ever. These festivals didn't have an actual scripted theater, but to quote our handy-dandy textbook, overall, there were a large number of strongly entrenched festivals with many performative elements. Page 72. It wasn't until much later that actual theatrical performance made a big comeback. The rise of liturgical drama. Welcome to the 13th century, and yes, I'm wearing a new shirt because this took longer to record than I expected. In the Catholic Church of this century, there are 2 different types of services. One of them is called Mass, and still exists today. The other is called the Hours. We all owe the Hours some type of gratitude, because without it, the theater may have ceased to exist. See, what was so special about it was that it's kind of the equivalent of today's contemporary worship service at a church, where you sing Chris Tomlin songs instead of hymns along with the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. Not to say that one is better than the other, it's just a matter of preference. The hours had musical segments with biblical dramatizations during the service. It became extremely popular because, well, anything with musical accompaniment usually does. I mean, can you imagine what Les Mis would be like without music? Oh, yeah, it wasn't the worst. These popular religious plays soon grew to be performed outside of the church walls and have since been labeled liturgical dramas. Festivals such as the Feast of Fools and Corpus Christi came from this. Corpus Christi even remains a fundamental part of the Catholic religion. While its main focus is the celebration and recognition of the body of Jesus Christ, biblical plays were performed pretty regularly, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. When actor guilds began forming in order to produce these plays outside at festivals, they started branching out and started producing secular plays, as well with the biblical productions. And then in 1350 it finally happened. These secular or vernacular plays became more popular than the liturgical ones. Well, that was quick. An article by Simon Newman for the Finer Times explores the reasoning for the decline of religious theater in the Middle Ages. Supposedly, as the liturgical plays moved outside, actors and dramatists realized that since they were no longer rehearsing inside of a church, they were free to do whatever they liked. Greek and Roman culture soon became very popular, and this, in combination with the monarchy supporting the separation from the church, sent religious drama down the drain. Religion in drama does still exist, but oftentimes most people confuse it for morality. In the majority, today's theater appears to have completely thrown out religion and the thought of it. Alex Solowski from The Guardian wrote a very introspective article on why drama has shut out religion entirely. He claims that drama and religion are actually quite similar, especially in the fact that in both situations, you have to suspend your disbelief and blindly trust what's going to come in front of you without knowing what it is. Kind of like faith. He also points out that religion is so often ridiculed on stage nowadays that the audience has come to accept that religion and the stage have really no relation. In a world today where acceptance is such a common goal among all people, it's possible that religion can maybe come back to the stage and not be judged as harshly as it had been. Recent productions such as Jesus Christ Superstar, Godspell, and Sister Act show us that maybe not all is lost. And maybe Solowski named his article incorrectly. That religion and theater might have a hope in hell.